Good evening, friends. This is regarding future retail. I will cover certain basics as well as the latest status on the entire matter of future retail in Hindi as well as in English. The latest progress is the company is always saying that it will do something, it will make arrangements, and it is trying to do certain things to protect investors and stakeholders. But the hard reality is nothing of that sort has been disclosed, or none of the investors are even feeling that the company is in a position to do anything because of its various cumulative negligences and irresponsible behavior from the board of directors with regard to handling the debts. As far as the status of independent directors are concerned, we don't know where are exactly these directors, how they are doing their own job, what they are doing to protect investors, because there is nothing which is visible. Where we exactly stand today, National Security Exchange (NSE) has taken certain steps to protect investors by raising certain queries. Myself and one more investor, Mr. Darpan Raj, we met the concerned officials from listing department on 12th of May, and they have addressed a communication through the website of NSE and sought certain information what happened about the stores which have been transferred to Reliance, because the company made a claim that we are going to take steps to receive these stores back. From 16th of May till date, there is no update available on the website of NSE. The company has not given any status update on what happened to taking over these stores from Reliance back to future retail. There is no official communication from the company. It seems the directors and the company have completely forgotten there are people like investors, bondholders, shareholders, and they require certain clarifications from the company, but that is not happening. As a result of which, the matter got escalated to SEBI, because the company is not doing well, the management is not doing well, the management has not taken care of the funds, investments, as a result of which the matter has gone in liquidation, the company. As far as the petition under section 7 is concerned, it is pending before NCLT Mumbai. The next date is fixed as 6th June 2022. Many investors, retail and HNI investors, are approaching all of us in the Telegram group, which is termed as victims of future retail. It is very concerning that in spite of an American company writing to SEBI as far as the alleged fraud in the company is concerned, SEBI has not done anything to ensure that an immediate investigation is launched and action is initiated and probe is conducted. On 2nd of May, Amazon has addressed a letter to SEBI. On 4th of May, I have supported the contentions of Amazon and repeated their contention, saying that please conduct the investigation and identify the facts. In addition to that, there is one research services private limited, that is InGovern Research Services Private Limited from Bangalore. They have addressed a communication to chairperson of SEBI on 11th March 2022. There, the concerned research house has categorically urged SEBI to protect minority investors, shareholders. See, today, I don't understand one thing. When you are raising an issue relating to 15,000 crores, 20,000 crore rupees, why SEBI is not treating this as a priority? This is a blunt question which I am putting before SEBI chairperson. I have addressed a communication of 4th of May 2022. I went personally. I was told to deliver the letter. I did that. I sent reminders and I spoke to the secretary of chairperson of SEBI multiple times, and definitely I received response telephonically saying that the matter is being looked after by concerned department. Unfortunately, last week the concerned person, Mr. Shinod, who is handling this particular case from SEBI, was on leave. I left my number with the secretary of the HOD for the concerned department and I requested for a callback, but nobody called me from SEBI. As a result of which, yesterday I again continued my follow-up with SEBI. I spoke to Mr. Shinod, who is handling this particular matter in SEBI. He was very clear that SEBI is working on it. SEBI is looking into it. I requested Mr. Shinod that, sir, more than 4 lakh investors are literally waiting for some action, some news, some movement in the company. But there is nothing happening from SEBI to give any sort of comfort to investors. Here I am not talking about traders, I am talking about investors. We are absolutely unhappy with the working of SEBI in this matter. I have categorically alleged to Mr. Shinod that because Reliance is involved, you people are not taking action. This is an allegation of an investor on SEBI. So you have to come clean and take action, investigate and return your findings. If you do not do this, then it is an injustice caused by the SEBI to the investor. Why I am using this kind of words is very clear. If an escalated letter goes to the chairperson of SEBI with a clear demand to protect investors, minority shareholders, why no action has been initiated? Please understand, we are doing this rigorous follow-up with SEBI because the company is already before NCLT. From 12th of March till today, if no visible action is taken, from 25th of May till 6th of June, there is no major scope available for SEBI to initiate such kind of larger action because you people have lost substantial time in taking action. Why you have taken that much time? You people have to address the public at large and show the reason what stopped you, who stopped you from taking action against the culprits. I demanded a reply to my letter dated 4th of May to Mr. Shinod. The letter was addressed to Mrs. Madhvi Puri Butch, chairperson of SEBI, dated 4th of May 2022. The same letter has been endorsed back to back internally to the departments concerned, and finally the concerned case worker who casually told me he cannot give me any update other than saying SEBI is working on it, SEBI is looking into it. What SEBI is going to look into it if the company petition gets admitted? Mr. Shinod, you should be aware of certain facts. The moment NCLT admits the liquidation petition under section 7, the petition is moved by a secured creditor, that is Bank of India, what are you going to look into? Today I am asking a question to the chairperson of SEBI. If the retail investors, if the HNI investors are going to lose money because of inaction from the SEBI, who is going to compensate these investors? Because on the day of this letter dated 12th of March 2022, addressed by InGovern to SEBI, there was no major resignations and changes within the management of Future Retail. During the pendency of action from SEBI or probe or investigation from SEBI, some directors have resigned. Managing director has mentioned, I will not continue because I have completed my term. CFO has resigned. Company secretary has resigned. And CEO has resigned. What is the use of addressing a letter to the chairperson if the action is not going to be initiated? Whether people are going to make use of these things, that is resignations and discontinuation in the company, and ensure that the board has minimum or below minimum number of directors, so that you can't constitute a board and continue with the compliance and finalization of accounts and signing of balance sheet and profit and loss account. It's a latest disclosure on the website of National Stock Exchange by Future Retail, saying that they do not have sufficient number of directors, so therefore they cannot complete certain compliances in terms of finalization of Q4 results for FY 21-22. I have to repeat, if SEBI would have taken action, this situation would not have come. So there is a clear failure on account of SEBI in terms of taking cognizance of this matter on time. One more thing I would like to inform the investors. I called SEBI on behalf of many investors who are in our Telegram group and told Mr. Shinod that many people have lost money which is relating to their investments in FRL, and most importantly, people have spoiled their career, their livelihood, their savings because of the inaction of the concerned regulators. If there would have been a proper due diligence, proper conduct, proper inspection, proper questioning by the concerned regulator from time to time, probably this situation would not have come. I had to tell Mr. Shinod. He was telling me that, sir, I am talking to you since 20 minutes. Mr. Shinod, 20 minutes or 2 hours, we don't generally care, because the salary which you are getting, that is coming to you from taxpayers' money. So you cannot show me the clock when we are raising investors, more than 4 lakh related investors grievances. You cannot tell me how many minutes I am speaking to you. Therefore, I requested him to fix a meeting with his boss. He said, no, you only call and fix the meeting. Again, I had to call the SEBI chairperson, and chairperson's secretary requested me to send an email. I have sent email yesterday. I am waiting for a confirmation from the chairperson's office of SEBI with regard to meeting on this entire matter. I am going to remind them again tomorrow. So therefore, I say that there is no response from SEBI. Many reminders, many escalations have happened. Now, coming back to our so-called finance ministry, people have sent multiple Twitter messages, no response. Nobody cares what happens to you. The SEBI works under Ministry of Finance. Finance minister is busy in their typical activities, but the market regulator is delaying these kind of things, but there is no accountability, there is no responsibility, and there is no response to the investors, to the correspondences, which are very serious in nature, which is very concerning and not acceptable. As far as correspondence to PMO is concerned, multiple investors have addressed, I have addressed multiple Twitter messages, but there is no response at all. So it's a failure of PMO in protecting its citizens of the country only tall claims are made, सबका साथ सबका विकास. But here in this case, साथ तो सबका है, विकास किसी और का हो रहा है, बर्बादी सबका हो रहा है. सो पीएमओ ऑफिस, आप थोड़ा आंखें खोल के लोगों का बचाने का काम करो. आपका रेगुलेटर्स क्या कर रहा है, आपका फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री क्या कर रहा है, इतने दिन से ये लोग क्यों आपका, हम लोगों का लेटर्स का रिप्लाई नहीं कर रहे. आपके पास ये सब पब्लिसिटी और ये सब बाकी के जो भी आप शो ऑफ्स के काम करते हो, उसमें से अगर आपको टाइम मिलता है तो इस पे भी आप थोड़ा ध्यान देके, कृपा करके थोड़ा कष्ट करके लोगों का सहायता आप करेंगे तो 4 वोट्स आप लोगों को फिर से प्रधानमंत्री जी को मिलेंगे, आप फिर से चुन के आएंगे. नहीं तो मुश्किल हो जाएगा पब्लिक को आप नेक्स्ट टाइम कन्विंस करने में. और एक चीज ये बताना चाहूंगा कि इतने सारे संस्था, इतने सारे चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेस होके ये डायरेक्टर्स कैसा निकल जाते हैं. ये जैसा है कि जैसा आप कोई मेले में जाके किसी बच्चे को छोड़ के आप घर पे निकल जाएंगे. सो टुडे इन फ्यूचर रिटेल व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, everybody is leaving the company. Banks are also equally responsible because जब भी आप लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट में थे, आपको एक स्टे ऑर्डर लेने को नहीं हुआ. In spite of having so many statutory protections available to the bankers, आपके 900 फ्यूचर रिटेल के एसेट्स जो लीज होल्ड प्रॉपर्टी और वॉट एवर नेचर ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी gets transferred to Reliance. So banks have failed to protect the investors, protect their own money, their own depositors, and in spite of that, Bank of India has gone in NCLT to ensure that the company gets closed, to ensure that the company's management gets transferred, to ensure that the assets are sold, to ensure that they get minimum amount of in terms of recovery. What is this whole exercise is going to have concern with the management of the future retailers. If the petition gets admitted on 6th of June, the entire board will lose its control. The management will shift to the interim resolution professional, Mr. Iyer. Then what will happen? Everybody will relax, no accountability. Then the IRP will conduct his inquiry, due diligence, so all other things. So therefore, the negotiating power which was available with the company will be completely lost, because the whole exercise will be conducted either through the IRP or through the committee of creditors, as the case may be. One more last thing, many people are asking me to initiate legal action against Future Retail Limited. As far as retail investors are concerned, HNI investors are concerned, please remember, Amazon has already entered NCLT to oppose this entire petition. There is no point in repeating certain actions, because ultimately the end result will be applicable for all. And you all are retail investors having limited money resources. So you have to understand your own limitation in terms of your own exposure, your own budget, your own costs, to what extent you are going to compete with these kind of corporates. Therefore, we have consciously chosen the way of requesting the regulators, requesting the National Stock Exchange to take certain action. There is no response from Future Retail to National Stock Exchange query dated 16th of May 2022. There is another clarification which NSE has raised on their website to Future Retail yesterday regarding clarification on the fraud, etc., as alleged by Amazon, as reported in the media. In a nutshell, every investor, banks, many large investors are going through a very tough phase. Unfortunately, there are no symptoms of any positive news as of today, at least. I urge National Stock Exchange, I request SEBI to initiate strictest possible action and stop this assets transfer and take available action under Section 11 of SEBI Act and also other rules, regulations, circulars and notifications as issued by SEBI from time to time. Because if SEBI fails to regulate the company, SEBI fails to comply with certain norms, if SEBI fails to execute its powers, use its powers available under the law, then I don't think anybody is going to protect the investors. If there is a delay in addressing this kind of urgent complaints, urgent references made to SEBI which are alleging certain major frauds and amounts involved are more than 15,000 crores, 20,000 crore rupees and plus, if the complaints and letters are treated as if they are typical correspondences with SEBI, then investors' confidence cannot be reassured. Otherwise it will be treated as a mere formality. By the time SEBI acts on this particular matter, probably on 6th of June, if the NCLT passes an order of admitting this particular petition, then definitely the future is not going to be so promising for the investors. Therefore, I once again request SEBI to take immediate action. I call upon the Finance Minister and PMO to look into this matter. All tall claims were made either in the election or post-election or in general speeches by the Prime Minister, by the Finance Minister, by Mr. Piyush Goyal, by other honorable ministers that India and Indian companies should grow, the investors should be protected and the law and order should be protected. And here what is happening is in front of everyone. The point here is one Indian company is literally going into water, another Indian company is flourishing day by day. We wish a flourishing company all the best, but they don't have any right to behave like this being a listed company. But if the SEBI is not going to look into this particular matter, I don't think we will have a continued trust and faith on this particular regulator anymore. If they work on it and restore this particular confidence of the investors in SEBI, then definitely we appreciate their efforts, and we are having a lot of hopes from the new chairperson, considering her track record as a taskmaster, as a goal setter and trend setter. We are very sure Madam is going to do something to protect the lower middle class, and also HNI investors who have put in their money in this entire particular company with a lot of hopes that the Reliance is going to honor its commitment. They are going to save this company. But unfortunately, their deal failed. Unfortunately, Amazon is continuing with the litigation and not doing anything major to save the company and to revive FRL and to ensure that the whole venture becomes profitable. So in this equal fight of these large corporates for their own ego and their competitive edge, the company which was having a lot of potential few years back is in the verge of collapse. If this collapses, this particular company collapses, then it is a collective failure of all those who are responsible. I know they don't care because they have nothing to lose personally. They have secured themselves in the manner they are supposed to. But still, I urge everybody, if something is possible, come closer, resolve this issue and move forward. And I still look forward for a strictest action from SEBI and NSE in whatever manner possible at the earliest, that is before 6th of June 2022. I request all the shareholders and the investors and the stakeholders to have patience, have trust on the entire process, because you don't have any alternative. Therefore, under the circumstances, I call upon all the investors to please maintain high level of patience and wait for the outcome of this case before the NCLT. If a scheme can be worked out, if any other Indian corporate comes forward and shows interest in saving this FRL, then definitely good time will return. If the company goes into liquidation, what scheme, how it is going to be addressed, what are the possible bid options, who's going to come and bid for the company, what are the offers. All these things cannot be predicted right now. So please avoid unnecessary messages and abusive messages and queries, because we will have to wait for good time to return by following due process of law. All the best and hope for the best.